On Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. My name is Dele Gadumo. And of course, I have with me Adedeji Odulesi. We'll be handling the program together today. And of course, we also have our guest in the studio. Our guest is Babajide Oluwase. Yeah? All right. How are you doing today?
Very well.
I need you to speak in the mic. Yes. Okay, so we need to hear your voice and see your handsome face.
Absolutely.
All right, so today on the program, well, first, this program is brought to you by the Lagos State Agricultural Development Authority under the auspices of Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems.
Exactly.
Yes, and this program is vitally delivers actionable agricultural insights and updates on the Lagos State government's game-changing food security policies. We also celebrate the incredible dedication of Lagos smallholders and agripreneurs. It was founded in 2020 alongside co-founder Michael Akinsete. Ecotutu, well, the Ecotutu must be the AKA, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, and Ecotutu was established to address Nigeria's massive post-harvest challenges, where billions of dollars are lost annually due to the lack of proper preservation systems. Well, our guest again, Babajide Oluwase, is a prominent Nigerian cleantech entrepreneur and sustainability professional, best known as the co-founder and CEO of Ecotutu, a leading cold chain infrastructure company in Nigeria. Okay, so now, Michael, Babajide, you said that Nigeria loses trillions of naira annually to post-harvest food loss, turning farming into a race against the clock. So for our listener out there who are probably just tuning in for the first time, who are probably unfamiliar also with Ecotutu, yeah, and the fact that Nigeria loses that huge amount of money every year, how is Ecotutu using solar technology to change this narrative and also save our food supply?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Before we get into what we do and how Ecotutu is tackling this problem, first, the issue around the billions or trillions of naira that we lose to post-harvest losses was validated by the World Bank, the IFC, the FAO, and every multilateral agency that you can think of today. Yeah. So it's a real problem.
Okay.
Right? But beyond the numbers, in our immediate communities, on the streets, in the markets, you can see this problem, you feel it, you experience it in different form. And we sort of move from wanting to address critical problem in our environment, right, to then realize how much food waste contributes to environmental degradation.
Okay.
I mean, that was the interest for us in the first place. We then realize how quickly that also impacts economic well-being of the people, the social side for businesses that play in that value chain. And then we thought about how can we contribute our part to address this problem, right? If we say post-harvest loss is a big problem, what does preservation add in that mix? I mean, you could think about dry preservation or wet or fresh preservation. So we decided to pick on the perishable side of things, right?
All right.
Providing cooling and refrigeration service. That was the first part.
Yes.
There's also another problem on the line there in trying to use that to solve, at least part of solving that problem, which is lack of access to reliable electricity. We've known this since I was born,
Decades.
Right? And then we thought if we want to use refrigeration to solve issue of post-harvest loss,
right,
then we also need to think about how to reliably power such infrastructure.
True.
And renewable energy then becomes one of such sources.
Okay.
Solar has been one that has been proven over time that it works. And that's how we're able to marry solar energy to refrigeration to address issue of food waste and post-harvest losses for farmers, traders, and even for consumers.
Okay.
And that's how we got ourselves in that ring.
I see. Did you have a question for him?
Can you enlighten us the success story of the solar-powered solutions?
Success story? We've deployed over 30 units of different sizes of this infrastructure across different parts of the country. We typically would deploy and operate in markets, food aggregation points, and farm clusters, right? So from the first mile where fresh food are being harvested, we ensure that we have cooling infrastructure that helps in terms of pre-cooling, holding, and then moving it to aggregation points where it is being sorted before coming, say, to the market point, which in most cases, in the case of Nigeria, like is the down south. So we have the production belt in the north, and then we have the consumption belt in the south, which Lagos falls rightly under. In the market, for example, we've seen again and again how, because there's this holding infrastructure within the market, a typical trader, they don't have to care about, they don't even know anything about that technology, right? What they care about is they want to preserve their perishables and ensure they're able to sell it at market competitive prices. A typical example would be a trader that usually would buy, say, 5 to 7 crates of tomatoes, for example, knowing that, I could sell this off in 3 days or in 4 days at best. And so I can cut my waste, right? But then maybe you get this produce at good prices, but you can't buy as much because if you don't sell them off, it's just going to be a waste and you're going to lose money. With our deployments in such markets where they have access to these solar cold rooms on a pay-as-you-chill basis, right? So if you're storing 2 crates, you pay for 2 crates. You pay as little as 250 naira per crate per day. If you're storing for 5 days, you just pay for 5 days, right? So if you're storing 10 crates, you pay for 10 crates. And it's very convenient, right, for these small businesses within such markets. So for a trader that typically buy 5 to 7 crates, they can buy 20. Knowing for sure that if they can't sell the 20 within that period, there's a facility that they could hold it with, and then that will enable them sell when they need to sell at the market competitive price, which also then helps increase their income. So we've seen this play out again and again for small and medium scale traders, farmers and aggregators alike.
Now, the question, in your initial analysis, you said production could be in the north and then sales in southwest.
Yeah.
Okay, south. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the cooling solutions, does it cater for the source up north, or the aggregation points are in the when it arrives in the market in the south here?
So it's a mix of it.
Okay.
Are we where we should be yet?
Okay.
No, because there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to sort of plug. I mean, you talk about road and all these other things. So what we do is, the different clusters that we identify that we work with, we deploy in such ways and we're able to cater to this need that you've described. Like from the market point, we're able to provide pre-cooling services, and then you provide other logistics services as well that helps to take this produce from the north and bring it down south. There's the whole economics of it, right? Because at the end of the day, again, if you use all of those, or you cooling solar cold rooms, for example, to preserve, you use cooling logistics to move it down south. At the end of the day, it tells on the cost.
Absolutely.
Right. So, which also then takes us to talking about the market segments, the different segments that we cater to, right? But yes, in the ideal sense, that's how it should be, but it's still somewhat fragmented, and we provide in some of those market points, and we also provide at the farm points. Market point, for example, is catering to the traders within those markets, right? So however the produce would get to the market, I mean, they're able to still sort it and still get the ones that are in the right best of condition, and they're able to store and they're able to sell at good prices. So that's what that chain looks like right now.
So let me ask you this question. Now, I wanted to ask you, what happens if a farmer takes it to the storage and then you can't sell within 3 days. So it probably extends to about 7 days. So you sell what you can sell, and then for another few days you leave in storage. One, how healthy is that? Do they remain healthy for consumption? That's one question. And then for farmers who want to race against time or against the sun, and they want to preserve losing money, because people want fresh food, they want organic food, and if it's in storage for 4 extra days, what does that mean for the final consumer health-wise? And then what does that loss mean for the farmer who has to keep for 4 extra days?
So cold chain infrastructure enables even healthy consumption.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm sure you visited as much open market as possible.
Yes.
And you see the conditions that these tomatoes and pepper look like. I mean, somehow we still buy them and we find a way around and still consume. But in the true sense, they are not in the best of conditions.
Yeah.
What the cold chain infrastructure that we provide enable is that There's the part for sorting, there's a part for crating, there's a part for arranging and the likes.
Okay.
The temperature in which this cooling infrastructure operates is one such that it's ideal and scientifically proven that this is the best condition for this produce to be. And you can store for months, right? So depending on the duration of how long you want to store, that would then help determine what state does this produce to be. Again, from the whole learning in the space, it's not enough to provide cold chain infrastructure and then you say you solve food loss.
Yes.
It's a wicked problem, right? Because you then get into you now realize that post-harvest management or food loss management starts from even the point of input to plants that vegetables, for example, to how it is being harvested, right? To how it is being transported. So it's a whole chain. So as we're also providing infrastructure, there's also a whole lot of education and sensation that we do in collaboration with other players in the space.
Yes.
Right? So these are some of the concerns as well. Like, oh, will I get my vegetables into the cold room? It's going to be frozen. No. The cold room has compartments.
Okay.
You can regulate each compartment to what each produce type requires.
Okay.
Right? And you are able to preserve these for an extended duration.
Okay.
And we've seen, of course, people understanding this, and then the adoption also gets better as we get along. So that's how it's been for us.
All right, let's quickly take one or two updates. It's still Lagos Farmer on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. The earlier reported breakdown, that's the broken down BRT bars with rear tire issue at Maryland in Ikeja GRA, is now off the road, so normalcy has been restored. We'll be bringing you more updates as soon as we receive them. I think the other impediment along the Lagos Ibadan axis, I think the tow truck is there right now, but we'll keep you updated as soon as we receive more updates, actually. Okay, now, so let's talk about the tomato and vegetable problem. They are highly perishable, as you've said. We go to the market on a daily basis, I will see the condition of our tomatoes, our pepper, our green vegetables also. They're not in the best conditions for consumption. But what goes through that delicate process, of the chain? How much longer does a crate of tomatoes stay in the market as against the Ecotutu, storage system? What's the difference? How does what happens to the process if a farmer who intends to keep in your storage for about 3 days ends up staying for about 5 days? What happens to the condition? You said that it's still in consumable state, but do you do any kind of drying or preservation of the tomatoes for our consumption? If I can't buy in 3 days and I want to stay till 7 days before I buy, I can still buy.
Well, we are still playing in the 2-2 space.
Okay, so it's still 2 days.
Which is still in the cooling side of things.
Okay.
Right, so 2-2, which is from the name.
The 2-2 cool. I get you.
I'm looking at this, like a few days now it's been very rainy, right?
Yes.
And very rainy means not very sunny.
Yes.
So, like in my own house now, I have solar, okay? And then you see that the output drops. But doesn't it drop with Ecotutu?
Well, technology is advancing. And so what you have with most of the advanced solar panels now is that you don't necessarily need sunlight.
Okay.
What you need is daylight.
Okay.
Right? So, but that's depending on the quality of the solar panels and the lights that you
exactly. I get you.
To put in place.
Yeah.
Right?
So, but I'm still looking at, don't you have challenges that you have completely metamorphosed into panels that do with daylight rather than sunlight?
Yeah, of course, because we had to ensure that the system itself is reliable.
Okay.
So panels harvest energy in daylight. Yes,
Okay.
once you have daylight, then you're fine.
So let's talk about because of time, let's talk about the pay as you chill subscription. How affordable is it for the smallholder farmer? Is it something that they can, that smallholder farmers have to work with a tight budget.
Yeah.
So how affordable is your pay as you chill for the smallholder farmers?
So we charge as low as 250 naira for a crate. a crate of vegetables,
Okay.
which itself the value could be around 25, 30, 50, or 100K.
Okay.
Depending on, I mean, right now, tomatoes in the market is a lot of money.
It's gold, though.
Right.
What we used to buy like 1,000 naira, now it's like 5,000 naira now.
Exactly. But what you typically would have in this sort of time is, so it's not like you have so much supply that people then want to keep for long.
Okay.
Right? Because there's a lot of more demand for than supply right now.
Okay.
Right? So 215 naira for a crate a day. And that's for vegetables, because we also still do preservation for...
Do you have a kg for that? Do you measure that crate? Or do you have
We
any?
do. So the maximum that you get from a crate is 25 kg.
Okay.
Right? But
All right.
usually for vegetables, we charge per crate. So once your produce could fit within the crate, so we just, of course.
Okay.
But for things like for meats and chicken and the like, so we charge those per kg, right? Because that tend to be on a different compartment where it freezes, and of course require more energy for us to deliver that. So this is flexible enough for small scale trader farmers, and we go beyond just providing cooling services to provide what we call the market linkage service. Right? We have businesses, restaurants, hotels that typically will come to most of the major markets to buy produce. And then they take to their... Part of our value proposition to them is you could buy your supply in bulk. You could store with us in the facility within the market.
Okay.
And then these are the traders that will supply you this produce.
Okay.
Right? So that way, the trader is not just thinking about storing and paying Ecotutu.
Yes.
Right? You're equally saying Ecotutu can also get me a good market with the right pricing for my produce. So that's part of the added services.
Does Ecotutu get a percentage from that?
Well, of course.
Let me quickly ask this one. You mentioned a wide range of farm products that you store.
Yeah.
But is it virtually everything that is in the markets that you store, that you can store, you can keep? Or just the basic ones that can deteriorate rapidly? For instance, yam. Is it part of the things you accommodate?
So, I mean, we've deployed solutions that for businesses that want to store yam for a period. But within the market itself, I mean, you typically would not get businesses storing. I mean, the ones that we've seen for yam storage is those that are preparing for export.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, maybe they want to own their own facility. We build and sell to them because we also do that.
Okay.
Right? So, we run the cooling as a service model. We also do outright sales. So, we sell to you, we can help you maintain and all that. But within the market, it's a vegetable because of the highly perishable nature of this produce. So vegetables of different forms. Interestingly, the premium ones, of course, they pay better. Like the cauliflower, the kales, and also very delicate to handle.
Yes,
but
very.
But they pay good money, right? So for those ones,
so the more delicate the vegetable, the higher the...
Maybe we say the more value.
The more value.
Because, I mean, it's like an extra. Like, we also need to then be extra careful in handling, in ensuring that everything is intact and all that. So, I mean, we need to then be able to be compensated for that.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. So, you talked about the farmer and the, let me say, off-takers, the restaurant owners, the, booker and all of that who buy all of these things. Now, if a farmer is bringing his stuff from the market, has to think about transportation, heat, traffic, So, yes, because once vegetables are exposed to heat, then it begins to give us problems when we use them eventually. So you also talked about the fact that the farmer can store, the restaurant owners can come there to buy. Does Ecotutu go into the, maybe I'll say the hinterland, to create this business relationship, between the farmers and the off-takers? Is that something that Ecotutu does?
We do that, and it's a very deliberate thing.
Okay.
Right? Because, again, we wanted to initially provide cooling services to businesses, to small-scale farmers and traders. But you know how you quickly learn on the the ones that you're looking to cater to, the way they are thinking is different.
It's different.
Right? So you
because it's something new, so they need to understand.
You are saying you want to provide preservation, you want to have quality food, and they just want to sell and move and rinse and repeat, right?
True.
And then there's this ones on the other side that quality is important because of the kind of customer segment they cater to, all right? And they also want to ensure consistent supply at very stable pricing, right? So that's their pinpoint. So we're able to identify that and say, hey, we could just be the guy linking both parts. And it's a very transparent process, right? We have people that deals with this within the market, or even at aggregation point, we have infrastructure to which gives us leverage there, right?
Okay.
Because if you're buying off this person, then you don't have to worry about preservation.
True.
You could store with us. We could also transport it to you in the right condition.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a win-win, right? Because to this trader or small-scale farmer, it then says, oh, this guy they're guaranteeing me market, right? Then why won't I work with them, right? That also then helps us to innovatively be able to pay for the storage services.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, because of our time, let's talk a bit about there is a somewhat clarion call to try to eradicate post-harvest loss. We need cold hubs everywhere. Now, is Ecotutu doing anything, to invite probably cooperatives, market associations, local government, who want to bring Ecotutu on the cold hub onto their community to stop food waste? Are you open to that kind of partnership?
Interestingly, we are working in different forms with the Lagos State government through the Ministry of Agriculture and Food System.
All right.
Right. So we've been together for about 3 years now. The plan for the Lagos Food Hub, the mid-level market program and the like. So we are also integrated in the midst of that because we understand that it's not something that we can do alone.
Right.
So we are working actively with government and other private sector players.
Okay. Before we let you go, we would like to have your contacts that people want to reach you. But for those who want to reach, because this program is brought to you by Lagos State Agri-Development Authority under the auspices of Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems. So those who want to reach us for further information and then they can reach you, you can call these numbers 0808 831 0895. I take it again, 0808 831 0895. Can we quickly get your own contact so people who are interested in this?
Yeah.
Okay, so 080 2811 7382. Again, 080 2811 7382.
All right. Well, we have to go. Our time is fast spent, but I want to say a big thank you to my co-host for today, Adedeji Odulesi. Thank you very much. Yes, you've been wonderful. Thank you very much. And also to our wonderful guest who's been giving us all the answers to all of the questions we've been asking today. Babajide Oluwase, thank you so much as well. Thank you for being on the program. Well, again, this program has been brought to you courtesy Lagos State Agricultural Development Authority under the auspices of Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Dele Agadumo. The program comes your way same time next week, Friday.
Next week.